All right, everybody. Thank you for keeping it locked to the Lady Boss Show. I do have my special guest with me. She is a gospel recording artist. Her name is Talasia. And I want to introduce everyone to Talasia and her new song. I did see her video, Rejoice, but I want to kind of give you guys a little background of Talasia first, because it's always good to get to know the artist before you guys start like diving into their music and different things. So let me just go ahead and say, welcome Talasia to the Lady Boss Show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here this morning.
You're welcome. So I was reading your bio,
Yes.
and I noticed it said that you started singing at a very young age.
Yes.
As a young child, I did see what stood out to me. You was going back and forth to the studio with your mom.
Yes.
Now that's different. That's a different story versus your typical artist when they form a little group when they were kids. Now, were your mom, is she a recording artist as well?
So my mom was a recording artist. And at this time, my mom was a secular recording artist. We grew up in church, but, my mom decided to write her own music. And at the time when she was writing her own original music, I was just watching her. I was watching every single thing that she did. She would go to the studio late, come back, play the music. She would have a notebook full of songs that she would write. And I just wanted to be just like my mom, Lord knows. And so she said at the age of 2, as soon as I started talking, I started singing.
Really?
Yes.
That's where you get it from. So that's amazing. As a young child, you got the feel of that studio.
Yes.
And production, it's already in you. So you already knew the flow of it. Now, I'm maybe getting ahead of myself. Did you, when you said want to be like my mom, that's when you started going in that direction?
I think that at that age, I just wanted to do everything that she did. So when it comes to putting on her wigs and putting on her lipstick and acting like I'm just like her, every single thing that she did, I wanted to do. And as I, started to grow, it really just became my passion. It wasn't just because mommy did it. It was something I loved doing. And so that's kind of where it started for me. And it just, it grew as time got older. She got me a couple of CDs when I was younger. And I listened to them over and over again for years. I studied them.
Yeah. Yeah, you like me. I study music. I'm like, I can listen to a song over and over, and I'm listening to the beat.
Yes.
And I can literally hear, if you play it like 3 or 4 times, you can hear every single instrument. Yes. And people are like, why are you into that? It's amazing to me.
It's amazing. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I love music. I always said music is healing and music is bae. I always said that because I don't know how people can function without it. That's why I love the entertainment industry. So I want you to kind of tell us what challenges did you face becoming a gospel artist? Because your style, from what I noticed, in your flow is not quote unquote traditional.
Yes. I'm so glad that you asked that because, so many conversations have been coming up lately on tradition, especially when it comes to the church. And as a child, when I was growing, I grew up in the church and I was used to that, hand clapping, foot stomping music. I liked it. It's what I enjoyed. But I knew that my style was different. And again, I give credit to my mom because when I was younger, she allowed me to listen to all different types of genres. So she bought me Brandy's Full Moon album when I was very young. She bought me Kiara Sheard album and Deborah Cox. And when I say I would listen to them over and over again, and by the time Beyonce came out, you couldn't tell me that I wasn't Beyonce Jr. So with all of those things together, my passion for music, instrumentation, and vocals as well, it was my only passion. And it grew at the time. And now I feel like I knew then that my style wasn't hand clapping, foot stomping. And I was scared. I was scared that the church wouldn't they wouldn't even receive me or my music or my style. And it was as I got older and my spiritual life, this is where it kicked in, my spiritual life grew. And I understood that God isn't put in a box. You can't put him, his music, anything that's about God into a box. He is the God of 1,000 years ago and the God of 1,000 years from now. So you can't think that music is not going to evolve and change, but the message is consistent. The gospel of Jesus Christ is consistent. But I love all types of music, and I'm glad that now God has given me spiritual courage to go forth in what he's given me to do. And I just thank God for the journey. that I'm
I
on.
like what you said, the God of 1,000 years ago and 1,000 years in the future, because
Yes.
he's eternity. And sometimes we do forget because of that scripture, he changes not. No,
Yes.
he has not changed,
He has
but
not.
time itself, even he know earth was going to change. That's why he sought a more excellent ministry and
Absolutely.
created this whole new covenant for us, because that other way, that old way wasn't, it's not going to work. It
Yes.
is not going to work. So I always like to, when I start to see something unique in artists that kind of stands out, I say, okay, what challenges did this person face to get there? Now, because you have background in choir though. Now, were you
Yes.
singing traditional or were you singing
Absolutely.
the new age?
I was singing traditional. I grew up in traditional gospel music. I grew
Mhm.
up on the choir. And when I got a little bit older, in my teenage years, I joined the praise team. And that was new to the church. Praise and worship was new. Back in the day, we didn't have no praise and worship. It was just
Right,
choirs. And
right.
so, I really was a part of even the evolution and the change within the church. And it kind of showed me that,
Hmm.
with all of that being said, you kind of have to have the mind that before the hand clapping, foot stomping, people praised God a different way,
They
and
did.
it sounded different. And so, with that in mind, you can't just think that the way that we grew up is the way. God is the God of all cultures, all races, and so you have to be
Hmm.
open to praising God outside of your norm. You know what I mean?
Right. They did have a different sound. If we were to go all the way back,
Hmm.
we will hit the Hebrews, and they
Yes,
don't sound like
not at all.
they don't sound like us. They don't do even the Jewish community today.
Yes,
We believe in the same God they believe in.
yes,
We reading and preaching off of the stories that happened within their family, their ancestors, but
yes.
they still don't do like us.
No,
But still,
nope.
that he's the God of all. So I like that. I
Yes.
like what you said. I'm glad you brought that out. Now you and your husband, you guys are like got this connection going.
Yes.
Now, which both of you are like into music. I don't know how you handle that. A household where two people are strong in music. Who came up with the concept around Rejoice?
So Rejoice was actually a song that my husband, the hook of it, rejoice in the Lord always. That hook was in his head since he was a child. And
Okay.
so, upon us, coming together, first of all, God does all things well because He just gave me somebody who has the same passions that I have and the same heart for
Mm-hmm.
God that I have. So I thank God
Mm-hmm.
for that. And then outside of that, our music, the way that we kind of vibe together with music is unlike anything I've ever felt before. And so when he
Mm-hmm.
bought this hook to me, and he sung it. First and foremost, we were going through a very hard time in our life and in our marriage. We never have been evicted, thank God. But there were times where eviction notices were put on our door. And
Oh wow.
so, yes,
Mm-hmm.
even in those moments and termination letters, getting fired from jobs, certain things happening, when he sung Rejoice to me, I had to sing from
Mm-hmm.
where I had to think about where we were. And I wrote from a very transparent place. And we wanted people to kind of get the God that we have. So when we go through
Mm-hmm.
things like eviction notices and termination letters, we're not shaken. We're not shaken because I
Mm-hmm.
know who provides for us and who gives us everything that we need, and that's God. And so because of that, I have a strength and security to go forward and rejoicing through every situation because I know it's going to work out for my good. He promised. And because he
Mm-hmm.
promised and I trust him, I'm able to go about life knowing that.
Right.
What do people do when you don't have God? And so we really wanted to write a
That's a
song
very
about
good
that.
question. What
Yes.
do you do when you don't have God? And you said you had eviction notice on your door, but didn't get evicted.
Yes. Did not get
That's
evicted.
a testimony.
That's God. That's how he does it. Because Lord knows I have no money, so I don't know what I don't know what happened, and I don't care. All I know is that they took it back, and we were able to still go on with our life and still move on and progress from that situation, learn from it. And I'm telling you, God has been working miracles in our life since I was a child, since he was a child. So it's easy
Mhm.
for us to talk about the things that he has brought us through, even some of the things that are embarrassing to other people, because I know that the things that are embarrassing to me can help somebody else. And I rather
Right.
be transparent and give people that faith that I hold on to every single day.
Right. And then, because that's how they can relate to you. and they can
Yes.
understand like, oh, I know where she is talking about. I know where she's coming from.
Mm-hmm.
And then they kind of see you in a whole different perspective. That's why God, in the Bible it says to testify one to another.
Yes.
It's so important, and not to be ashamed of your story, because you never know what somebody else is going through. So
Yes.
that song Rejoice is basically, it's a testimony of you and your husband lives
Yes.
overall.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So then the video. I want people to go check out the video. Who produced that? I like how the video was organized.
So me and my husband, we do everything. We do everything from our music to our music videos. We come up with our concepts. We will set everything up. I really went to the library and typed out some eviction notices and termination letters, and we set
Mhm.
up at our church and at the beach, and we utilized our family, which is he goes to our church as well. His name is Steve Forte, our videographer, and he
Mhm.
literally just he asked us what we wanted to do. He asked us our concept, and he literally just made it happen. We were a part of every single thing, from the concept to
Wow.
editing every 5 seconds of that video. So it was an amazing process for me, and I really was excited to capture the message that I wanted to capture and that I wanted people to be able to
Mhm.
hold tight to. So in that video, you're going to see the eviction letters, you're going to see the termination letters, and you're going to see God changing it around at the end. And
Wow.
I really pray that, when people watch it, that they're encouraged. God will bring you through. He
Yes.
fights for you on a daily
Yeah.
basis.
Absolutely. Because that sounds like you and your husband got a production company going on. That's what.
We prayed on it. We said, God, if that's what you have for us, then fine. But we really love to take control of our ministry and what we
Mhm.
show people and our brand. And we're in control of every single aspect of it. And I like that. I like being in control of it.
Yeah, and you know what just when you said that, I see like it's training for you guys.
Wow.
Even eventually as you grow in the music industry, you're going to have people do all that, the
Right.
production part, but
Yes.
it's good to teach and train somebody else when you have already done it yourself, so you know exactly how you want it to be done.
Yes.
I love that part, because when someone would just leave, you like, oh, the show don't stop. I can do it myself.
That's right. And not only just that, but I think sometimes it's important that, when you have other people do it, sometimes they can come in and they want to tell you what they feel their vision is. And I think it's
Hmm.
important that whatever we do, that it's not just our vision, it's God. And I
Hmm.
want God to be at the forefront, the foundation, and everything surrounding what we do. And as long as whoever comes in is willing to listen to God, I'm cool with it. But
Hmm.
yeah, I definitely think one day we will have people doing what we're doing, but I'm enjoying the journey. I'm enjoying learning and
Yes.
being a part of everything.
Yes, enjoy the journey, because that's exactly what it is. And so
Yeah.
I want you to kind of tell us where can we follow you on social media, as well as your website as well.
Absolutely. So you can follow me at Talasia Music. That's spelled Talasia Music, and that is on Facebook, Instagram, and our YouTube channel, where you can
Hmm.
find our music video. And we did a debut concert last year. You'll find that on there as well. And also, you can find our music on all streaming platforms, wherever you can find music. You can find Rejoice on there: iTunes, Spotify,
Hmm.
Pandora, and stay tuned because we're finishing up our EP that we're looking forward to
All
dropping.
right.
Yes, new content, new music videos coming very soon. So,
Okay. And also, I do want to ask the gospel, because of we're in the COVID season, are
yes.
you doing like maybe some future like virtual concerts?
Yes, I'm so glad you asked that.
Hmm.
We are doing our virtual concert this month of November, and we're going to be dropping it really soon, within a couple of weeks after that. So definitely stay tuned for that. You're going to get a whole lot of our original music, as well as we put together some transitions in there for you guys, and just
Hmm.
we made it really special. Um, we're actually dedicating our EP to my mother-in-law, my husband's mother,
Hmm.
and she just passed. God rest her soul. And so we're
Oh, wow.
dedicating this to her. And yeah, God is so
It's going
good.
to be special. It's
It's
going to be.
definitely special.
Hmm.
Definitely.
Well, I am so glad, Talasia, that you came on the Lady Boss Show, because truly, you're a woman of God, and you're a boss babe. I mean,
Uh,
you doing it, you making things happen before anybody else come in. God just have you doing what you need to do to keep it going. And that's what you're supposed to do. And you being very productive. Even like I did a video on Instagram, even in COVID season. Like
yes.
we're praying for those who are going through, but some people God is blessing and they're just being productive. It's like you're
Yes.
busy doing all this that's going on. That's nobody but the Lord.
Nobody.
Nobody but the hand of God. And so I'm gonna do like a season saint. I'm gonna bid you Godspeed.
Yes.
Them season saints will say, "We bid you Godspeed." Now, I always talk about season saints not in a negative way, but I always like to talk about them because they're the foundation.
Yes.
You know, we grew up watching them, and a lot of them is still with us. So even though we may not be, you know, traditional, we don't do what they do, but we certainly thank them for keeping it going up until this point. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much for coming on the Lady Boss Show.
Thank you so much for having me. Oh my goodness, you've been such a blessing to me this morning. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.